Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of 760 Sports. I'm Eduardo Espinosa, and today's guest, he's a triple threat. He's not just only the principal of Sultana High School, he's a councilman, but also the mayor of Hesperia, California, Mr. Larry Bird. How are you doing today, sir?
Great. Good to see you. Thanks for having me on.
How has this pandemic been treating you so far?
Well, hey, I tell you what, there's been so many disappointments for our young people, and I've been really sad for that. But boy, it's really kept us busy, and had an opportunity to obviously represent our city and as councilman and mayor, and then as a principal of a high school that kept going through distance learning. And so we had drive-through graduations for our class of 2020, and providing different updates to our citizens as mayor. What I'm most concerned about is the effect on our businesses and our community. And I just want our officials, and especially our governor, to know up in Sacramento just how important it is to our small businesses, our restaurants, our barbershops, our hair salons, all of the different businesses that are, looking to putting food on the table, because the profits from their business goes right to their checking account, which pays their bills. We just need to make sure that we're taking care of them. I think we've seen more of that by opening up our parking lots to restaurants and allowing them to do that. And at the city, we've just basically stamped those as they come in. We're letting them for no cost get approval for those things. They certainly have to meet certain criteria, but we're not charging them for that. And then, as I understand it, for nail salons and barbershops, they're able to work outside as well. So as long as there's a provision for them to keep going, then I am certainly supportive of that. But I just want folks to know, yes, we don't want the cure for this disease to be worse than the actual disease. So it's been keeping me busy.
So what has COVID-19 made you reflect upon?
Well, first of all, it's always going to be family. All my children to some degree have been able to move kind of back in and work from home, but we have had a chance to really kind of pull together in many respects for a family. We haven't been able to see some family members because obviously we're concerned about their health. We realize how important that is. My reflection on that is just the opportunity to do that, and with friends too, and with my students and with the citizens of Hesperia, still been able to interact with them and support our businesses, support our students, support our citizens. And so I have been very thankful that I have been able to, be deemed an essential worker in the sense of being able to get out and still being able to work and be able to do the things that I think is necessary for our city and for our school district.
One of your many jobs in this community is being the principal of Sultana High School. So what's the plan of action for this upcoming school year?
So right now we're in what's called phase one, and that's distance learning. And boy, I can tell you from the superintendent all the way down, we want to get our students back. We know how important it is to not only their academic health, but their physical, mental, and social well-being. We want to get them back into school. Obviously, we know that we have to abide by the criteria that's been outlined by the state and the federal government. So right now they are going to be working online. And so we've had multiple meetings over the last many days to kind of get organized and ready for that. I'll meet again many different times with many different groups next week. And then the following week, we'll be having them pick up in a safe way their textbooks and Chromebooks and things like that. And then we will actually start school for students on August 6th. It'll be distance learning, but we think we've made some tweaks that will help it be better than it was. But we certainly want to get back to at least what we call phase two, hybrid learning, where they would come for part of the time to school and work from home the other part of the time. We know right now we're going to focus completely on the academic and social and emotional well-being of our students.
When can we expect classes to return to campus?
We have to meet a certain criteria as outlined by the California Public Health and the county. We have to meet about 5 different guidelines, but 2 in particular, and that is that the cases have to be under 100 for each school district area. Our school district area also includes what's called the Golden Triangle in Victorville. And that used to be in our sphere of influence. And so that is where Hollyville Elementary is. And so students from that area come to our schools. And so that is included a little sliver of Victorville as well. So Hesperia Unified, we have to keep, hopefully we'll get to 14 straight days where those cases are below that. And then also meet the other criteria that the county and the state have set out for us.
CIF recently announced of their expected return dates and the layout of the various sports. What are your thoughts about the date selection of the various sports?
Sadly, we didn't have any spring sports, and I think it was horrible that they didn't get a chance to finish out their career. And, that's awful. At least this option allows every sport to be played. Now, whether or not a student who is a student athlete in multiple sports, I don't know about that, and it would be kind of hard to see that they would do that. I think something is better than nothing. And hopefully we'll have a nice season for them, and they'll be able to have, a good CIF season as well. And hey, maybe we'll get some more champions out of it.
Definitely. And you brought up a great point, those multi-sport athletes. What is it going to come down to the sports selection? Is it going to be the most convincing coach, or how will the athletic department handle this?
My suggestion is, hey, play as many sports as you can, while still being able to take care of your academic and your physical well-being. But you really specialize in one. Maybe two. I mean, there's some athletes that are 3 sports athletes, but in reality, there's one sport. So you're going to focus on that one for sure. You're going to have to do that. And then, that second one, hopefully you're going to be able to do as well. My children love basketball and soccer, but they had to choose between, one or the other because both of those were offered during the winter. And so my girls played soccer, my son played basketball. So, those type of decisions will be made again, but probably a little more specific this time to probably just 2 instead of 3. My suggestion is that they take the one that they're most passionate about, the one that they think that not only are they the best in, that they really love. And I would treat this year as, playing the sport that they really love.
Is there anything you would like to say or mention that I did not ask about?
Well, I would just say this, we did our very best for the class of 2020. By the way, just want to make sure everyone knows that I'm in my office right here all by myself. I've got my mask and everything, and I'm looking out of our office here and looking at our banners that honor all the class of 2020 Hesperia graduates from Oak Hills and Hesperia High School in Sultana and Hesperia Christian and all of the charter schools. And so I'm looking at those banners on the north side of the library. I just honor them, but also tell the class of 2021 that we are prepared to offer the very best we possibly can, and we will fight to have an opportunity for them to come back as soon as possible. I promise them that we'll do that and make it the very best possible.
Do you have any last words for both Hesperia residents and the student body of Sultana High School?
For the citizens of Hesperia and really all students in Hesperia, we are in this together, and what we want everyone to do is to be as safe as possible. And so obviously we also want to come together as a city, come together as a Hesperia Unified School District, and come together as very specifically as Sultana. So we say once a Sultan, always a Sultan, and you know that very well. We want that same principle to the city of Hesperia. Once a citizens of Hesperia, always a citizen of Hesperia. And so we're going to keep doing that family idea as long as I have breath and as long as I am in this position as council member and mayor and also principal Sultana and educator in Hesperia Unified School District.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Mr. Bird. Really interesting talking to you once again, even from the distance. But before we go, where can we find you at?
On social media, it's under my name, Larry Bird, on Facebook, and on Instagram, it's Principal Council Mayor, and that's usually the best way to reach out. And I think that's how you and I reached out to one another. If you want to email me at larry.bird@hesperiausd.org, certainly feel free to do that. That's my email for a school district if you have things related to that. But we'd love to hear any way that we can help you out.
Well, once again, thank you for your time, and hopefully this is not the last time we get to talk.
I think we will talk again, and hopefully we can talk when this whole thing is over, and we can look back and say, hey, a job well done by all of us.